I'm quite amazed, I am. I'm even more amazed there are 3 people waiting. But whenever I say that, people usually disappear. Just setting my camera up now, so I can watch it on the thing. Who is there? Who is with us? Can you hear me? That's always the first question I have to ask. Can you hear me? Speak now or forever hold your peace. Hello? 2 people, I told you, I always lose one. What is happening here? Hello? Now I'm down to 1. What have I said? I must have said something bad. I didn't mean to. Give me another chance. Or don't give me another chance. I couldn't give a monkeys, to be honest. Who is there? Who is there? No one's talking to me, Adam. Kyle Sebastian. He has got a number 1. Welcome, Kyle. How you doing, brother? Jim's there. Hi, Jim. How you doing, mate? 4 people, 1 like. What more could a man ask for? Is my sound all right? Bit of a rush to get back here today. I have just been out. Almost didn't make the live stream, but I'm back now. First time I've been out in a long time. I say a long time, a few weeks. But I've only had 3 beers. I feel like I'm drunk. There you go. But I'm on the coffee now. So what is the word on the street, people? 6 people now. It's and on time. Good evening, fella. How are you, mate? What is the word on the street? How are you? Is the more important question. Jim, doing well. Arrived in our village Friday. How was your days how was your time in Manila, mate? Did it exceed your expectations? Were you glad to get away from the place? I've forgotten where you are. It's on time. Which country are you in, mate? I've forgotten. Eight people. Good Lord, what have we done? We have struck gold. There's the key. I got to disappear for a month. Then I'll get eight people on the live. Trouble is, I'll lose them just as quickly as I got them. Mike Thompson, was your area affected by the typhoon? Yeah, not heavily. Not heavily. Touch wood, we seem to be quite lucky in Dumaguete. In the time I've lived here, there have been a few typhoons and things, but they've just been minor inconveniences. You know, just a bit of heavy rain. So I think we're very lucky in the grand scale of things, given what happens to some people in the Philippines. It's on time. I'm in Cork, but I'm from Cork, but in Manila. Well, there you go, mate. Top of the morning to you. I've probably done that joke before, haven't I? Nice place, Cork. You living in Manila? Do you like it there? Obviously you do because you live there. Seems to be very much a Marmite city, Manila. From the little I've seen, you know, I'm not speaking as an expert, not really for me, but you get a lot of people on the channel who live in Manila and Cebu, and they think, what the hell are you doing in Dumaguete? So I suppose it's horses for courses. How long have you lived in Manila, mate? Jim Pendergast, glad to get away from Manila, as always, now nicely settled at home. I'm just going to sneeze. I've had an allergy the last few weeks. I don't know why I keep sneezing. Not good for a live stream. When you get back, Jim, it must be strange. Do you? There must be some nasty surprises, surely. Someone's broken this or broken that, or this doesn't work, or things have grown in places you didn't think they were going to grow. Or do you get back and is it smooth? I always thought, like, you know, when you live in the 6 months on, 6 months off, there must be a few shocks when you come back. Mind you, you've got family and that living there, aren't you? So they probably keep on top of these things. Right, I've got 8 people and I've got 2 likes. What can I do? What can I possibly do to get these other 6 people to like me? God, I sound like I'm at junior school, don't I? To like me. You don't have to like me. Not many people like me, let's be honest. Why do I keep sneezing? It's a worry at the moment because if you watch the last video, if anyone did watch it, um, I've been a bit worried I'd get rabies. I don't think I would have done because I did get vaccinated a few years back. Apparently, it doesn't count anymore in terms of the time period that has gone. But the symptoms of rabies are flu, cold-like symptoms to start off with. So, of course, now a few weeks ago, I'd have said it's just an allergy. You're just sneezing for no reason. Now I sneeze, I think, God, I've got rabies. I hope I haven't. 5 likes. Thank you very much, people. Much appreciated. That's the first time I've said that and got a reaction. God bless you. I'm not sure if It's on Time is there. My dad's from Cork. My mother's from Westport. There you go. As I say, my dad was born in Kerry, but he's got my his parents are from Cork, my grandparents, but they're gone now. So we got Mike Thompson. Thanks for joining us. We've got It's on Time. We've got Jim Pendergast. Who are the other 7 people? 7 likes. Wow. I have achieved things I never thought were possible. I'm taking it the sound is all right because no one said it wasn't. I'm glad I came back now. I went out earlier on. I have not been out because of the kitten. I've not been out doing party things or socialising really. I couldn't get away for more than 3 hours at a time. And then earlier today, a mate of mine messaged me because it's the bowling day and I've stopped bowling now, or patang. I don't really play it anymore. And he said, well, pop up and have a beer. So I thought I'd pop up. And you know how it is, you haven't been out for a while. You bump into a load of people you haven't seen for ages. My God, it took me an effort to get away from there. But I'm glad I did now because that would have all have ended badly if I'd stayed out too late. And I've got to feed the little kitten in an hour. My chat has dried up. Talk to me, people. Tell me something. Otherwise, you've just got a middle-aged man talking to himself, talking to a screen. Ella might join us soon. She's cooking dinner. She's a good woman, that woman. Don't know what she's making, but I'm sure it'll be lovely. But that is the chopping sound in the background. My sweetheart.
It's too hot.
Okay, I just asked you. I just about to ask. He said it's too hot. I have that effect on women. I was about to say, what are we having for dinner? My favourite. I don't know what it is. Here we go. Jim has answered. Yes, always maintenance, but have a couple of people cleaning house and gardener and family, but work not to Nora standards. It never is to a woman's standards, is it, mate? Never is. When you were saying that the other day, I had a friend who came back. He might be watching now, Jeff. And I had to come back. He came down to a bar I very rarely go to, the Quiz. And he said, let's go for a drink. And I said, no, I can't, mate. I've got to go back and feed the kitten. I said, but if you come back with me while I feed the kitten, I could have a drink with you afterwards. And he came back, and it's the first time he's been to the house. And he said, you must be single. There's no way a woman could live here and have a house as messy as this. So there you go. I said, don't say that too loud. Ellen was in the bedroom. She was spark out, fast asleep. I thought it was a bit unfair. It's not that messy. So who else do we have in the house? A lot of voyeurs, which is fine. If you just want to watch and listen, that's up to you. But give me a clue. Tell me what you want to talk about. I'm going to turn the camera around here. I keep looking away because I'm looking at my laptop. My old mince pies are not strong enough to read the comments on the screen now, so I have to look at the laptop. That's why I keep looking down there. No one wants to talk to me, Ellen. She says, end it. Just like that, end it. She's a strong-willed woman. Bit wet here since we have been back. That's Jim. Yeah, it's been surprising. First year I was in the Philippines, it never rained really. Didn't have a wet season in Dumaguete. Didn't really have a wet season in Siquijor. I think there was one cyclone, one weekend. which happened on my birthday because Ellen came over and she couldn't get back because they'd stopped the ferries. But yeah, people used to ask me, are there wet seasons? You know, what are the I said, there aren't really. Now I know, a couple of years on, yeah, there are. This year has been a lot wetter than the previous 2 years. Jack Star's in the house with a very generous contribution. Jack, didn't have to do that, mate. I always tell you that. Didn't have to do that. How are you, Jack? Always appreciated, though. I mean, I'm not saying don't. Anyway, yeah. Thank you, Jack. How are you, mate? How is your back? Didn't ask you on the last one. I was a bit worried. I thought about afterwards. Your young Scottish young lady. That might not be good for your back, if you know what I mean. But how is your back, mate? Are you full of the joys of string now? Now you've got this young lady. Is your back a distant memory, or what's going on, mate? How's the crypto? In Pentecost, hi Jackstar. Hello, everybody. Hit the like, share the love. Hey, you're too good at this, Jack. You're much smoother than I am when I say that. I always mumble my words. Nice that you can make it, mate. We've got Jim in the house. We've got Jack in the house. We've got It's on time. We had Carl, but Carl's gone quiet. Mike Thompson is here. Who else is here? Jack Star, hi Jim. The people just talk amongst themselves, which is good. That's what the community is all about. It's on time. Yeah, Manila is not to everyone's taste, I guess. The place I live, every time I close a window, I catch someone's fingers. Jack Star, I'm in a very good place, mate. Lost nearly half a stone, and you can imagine due to what? Wow, that's some going, brother. Well done, you. Even if I try my best, I might lose half a pound. I'm primed and waiting. My milk is warming up. So who are we missing? We're missing Adam. We're missing Plastered Finger. Jack Star. So many more movements on moving to Vietnam. Have you persuaded young Ellen yet? No, I tell you what, it's a funny old thing. I think I've lost my motivation to move there, to be honest. I'm quite happy here. I was talking to my landlord the other day because he watches the videos from time to time. We were talking about Vietnam. And he said, when do you think you'll go? And I was like, well, I don't think we'll go permanently. I could see us living there 6 months of the year and like between the two. But the reality is now with a kitten, I don't know if it's subconscious, and obviously with a dog, can't really leave them, can you? Unless we've got a housekeeper. But I don't know. It's like strange because when we went to Vietnam, I fell in love with the place. And I thought, this is our future. And Ellen was up for it. Ellen was the one who said she could live there. But since we got back, I'm thinking, I quite like Dumaguete. We'd have to have a few more holidays over there and see. But let's just say it's well on the back burner at the moment, to be honest with you, mate. Jim, how is Kitty? She's very good, mate. She's very good. I'm very, very happy with what's happened with her. Because they told me when I took her, or the people in the bar said, it's pointless. She won't survive. She's too young, too small. She'll be dead in a day. And she's not. And when I first told the vet about her, he said it's like very unlikely she'll survive. And she's gone from strength to strength. So, and my old mate Alex has just told me it's good karma. I will be rewarded at some point by the universe. I find it very hard to believe, but it would be nice. But yeah, she's all right, mate. She's all right. I'm going to either have to stop the feed at 8. Good God, what's happening with the dog? To feed her, or I might feed her while we're streaming if there are a lot of people on. But it is very much, I know I'm going to sound like a moany old bastard, but it's hard work. Hard work. This getting up and feeding them and getting up and going to sleep and that. I've probably had more sleep in the last few weeks than I usually get. Because usually when I go to bed, I don't sleep for maybe 4 or 5 hours tops. Last few years, I can't really sleep that much. But with these, I'm like sleeping for 2 hours, getting up, feeding her, sleep for another 2 hours. If you put it together, probably got more sleep than I'd usually get. But by Christ, exhausted all the time. There's definitely more value to having 5 or 6 hours straight than there is to breaking it up in intervals. But who am I telling? I'm sure you've all got kids. I'm sure you've all been through it. I'm sure you've all, done it. I've just been quite lucky or unlucky in the sense I've never been able to do that. Or never had to do that. Where are you, Jack? We know where where are you, Jack? We know where Jim is, and we don't know what part of Manila it's on time is. If he chooses to share it with us, but I don't know. I can't answer any questions or talk to anyone. I've got no comments. So glad I came back and did a live show. I was really enjoying it down the Octagon. I would have stayed out. I tried to actually put the video back half an hour. Well, I can't put it back too late because I've got to feed the kitten. But it's one of those ones, isn't it? When you haven't had a drink for a while and you're with friends, you get intoxicated by the atmosphere and you think, I want to stay out. But now I'm thinking, my God, I'm glad I didn't stay out because I know how that would have ended and I'll just have a hangover tomorrow. But then again, I wouldn't because I can't with a kitten. Jack, so yeah, pal, I understand. That's just in your comfort zone at the moment. And why not? If you're having good socials and your good friend network, I would certainly take more holidays. Yeah, I think that's it, mate. I think that's it. It's like, that's the way I'm looking at it. Because I've never had as many good friends in my life as I have in Dimmergate, and that includes in the Air Force, whatever. People are very sociable people over. It's a nice bunch. It's a good bunch. And I never had that in Thailand to the same extent. I never had it anywhere, basically. You're thinking you're not going to have that, when you move over there. You might get a network going, but it's never going to be quite, or be very surprised if it's as it is here. The food's better, the culture's nice, we'll save it for a holiday, you know what I mean? It's like we go there 3 or 4 times a year, eat a load of Vietnamese food and that. I don't know, we'll see how things go. You never know what the future holds, but yeah. I've never understood why Dimmergate is so good in terms of social life. I think it must be, thinking about it now, because there's not a lot going on here. You know what I mean? People make the most of it. Somewhere like Vietnam, I imagine Da Nang and that, where there's so much going on. Everyone's going to be in their own little groups and, there's lots of stuff to do. I don't know, it's like people seem to make the best of a bad job, if you know what I mean here. Not that Dimmergate is a bad job, I like it, but never been to a place where there's so much emphasis on clubs and this. Like today, the Patang, it's kicking, mate. It's kicking. They're you got to get your name down. It used to be a few months ago when I played, you could turn up on a Wednesday and just put your name on and get a game. Now you've got to book like 2 days in advance. It's like, everyone is going there. It's heaving. The band's playing and that. It's extraordinary how it's taken off. Jim Pendergrass, Manila, okay for me for a few days, but could definitely not live there. Jack Star, I'm currently in Dublin. You're in Dublin? Wow. I do like Dublin. Dublin is a nice city. Be interested to know what It's on Time thinks about Dublin. As for crypto, it took a hit, setback on fuel cell. A part has failed, which is disappointing, but just another challenge. Yep, that's the way to look at it, Jack. I've always said that. I haven't always meant it when I said it, but I've tried to say to myself, there are no problems, there are just challenges. That is exactly the way you should look at it. It's not a problem, it is a challenge, my friend. And you'll feel fantastic when you have overcome that challenge. But sorry to hear that. We never got to the bottom before. I know I've asked you, maybe I've forgotten, but this thing that you're making, this hydrogen power thing, do you have any intentions to patent that or do anything with it? Or it's just a one-off, like, it's just like a one-off, your own personal bespoke system? Because I know you had a bloody long time waiting for them to build that to you. I remember those old days. And Jack Star, so have you seen a steady increase in prices at all? And is there a few single guys still over there? Why do you ask about the prices? Interesting you say that. Things have gone up a little bit, but negligible. But I know I've tried to get to the bottom of this before, because obviously in the UK we have a budget. But there was a time when I first got here when I've been about 6 months. and all the hairdressers went up at the same time. Things seemed to go up at the same time, and I thought it's a hell of a coincidence. You know, is it the old jungle drums, and you know, they've heard this person do it, or is there a reason for it? When we got back from Vietnam, all the restaurants put their prices up at the same time. Now, is that a New Year resolution? Is it because something happens? I'd have to try and get to the bottom of that because it's a strange one. But not really. I mean, I've not know. Things are so cheap over here. You don't really notice stuff like that. It's only because Ellen had mentioned it when she was. She's very astute at things like that when she reads the menus. But yeah, I mean, I think the average now for a Stella, not a Stella. What am I talking about? San Miguel Light. But I've just been paying 80 in because I look at it the way beer. Beer is the way I work out how things have gone up. Makes me sound like an alcoholic, but it's something. If you're always buying the same thing in various different shops, then you'll work out. You know that it's a good way of judging what the prices are. Because when you go to a restaurant, you might eat a different meal each time. How do you gauge it? But yeah, San Miguel tonight at the Octagon was 80 pesos. And I think it's 80 pesos now in the Brew Garden. I think when I first got here, it was some places were 65, some places were 70. So in 3 years, a beer has gone from 65 or 70 to 80. The meals in a lot of the restaurants, they've gone up by they seem to have gone up by about 20, 30 pesos. So there has been an increase, but minimal. I mean, it's still an incredibly cheap place to live. But it's not something I really think about, to be honest with you. I mean, you talk to some of the older boys who've been here a long time, they will lament how fantastically cheap it was when they were here and how everything's going through the roof. But I've not really noticed it in the time I've been here. What about you in Thailand? Have you noticed it in Thailand going up? I noticed when we went back for our holiday, everything had seemed to go up by about 20%. Jackstar, yeah, Powell and beer and fuel is a good guide to see how things increase, etc. Yeah, it is, because you know what I mean. You're always filling up with fuel, and it's always going to be the same fuel. It's going to be unleaded or whatever. Yeah, that's why I say with San Miguel's. That's why I realised that Dumaguete is such a cheap place, because when we went to and Sikil as well, because it was always about 75, 80 pesos. When we went to Sikil, it was about 80 pesos. You go to Molbol, it's 150 pesos. You go to Cebu, it's 150 pesos. So you see straight away, and then you realize, well, wait a minute, that's almost twice as much. So then you start thinking about other things, and you see the food and everything. Dumaguete is a very cheap island for the Philippines. I think it's going to blow my mind how expensive England is next time I go back. It always does, but I've just got a funny feeling the next time it will. I had 7 years in Thailand. I never went back, and I went back one time, and I just couldn't. I think I bored everyone I knew because I kept saying it's not this pricing. It would be this in Thailand. It would be that in Thailand. Like, well, you're not in Thailand, are you? You're in the fucking UK. So why do you keep talking about that? I think because it's just mind blowing. You know, it makes you ponder or wonder why the hell are things so expensive in the UK compared to what they are in Thailand. But then again, here you get it a lot because some things here are just so ridiculously expensive in comparison to Thailand. And we're talking small money. It's still very cheap to live here, but you know, like certain vegetables and things, you think, how is it that they can fly things in on planes to Africa and sell them in Tesco's or Asda or whatever, and they're a fraction of the price that they are here, which is a tropical country, and people will say, well, it's because it's islands, you've got to get them to and fro and all this stuff. And then we've got to fly them in from Africa in the UK. I suppose it's the economy of scales. Jackstar, as for hitting problems, to me, it's just a solution you haven't thought of yet. That's a very good way of putting it, mate. Also, it's more apparent to people on a set or small budget. Yeah, it probably is. Yeah, without a doubt. In fact, I'm saying yeah, it probably is. You know, if you've got to watch the pennies, it will be something that's like, you know, something that, you know, you're going to have to take serious. That's why I've often said on the budgets, you know, it'd be terrible to live on. I mean, some people have to live on a budget. It always annoys me when they say, don't come out if you haven't got this, you haven't got that. I mean, but what I'm saying is, you know, there have been times when we've had very cheap periods here, or I have. And I haven't changed my lifestyle. It's just been cheap months. But I think you'll know what I'm saying to you. It's different to spend $1,000 in a month and think, bloody hell, that was a cheap month, than to only have $1,000 and have to count pennies all the time. I mean, that could drive you nuts. I mean, it's really going to, you know what I'm saying? I'm saying it in a roundabout way, but yeah, if you've only got a certain amount and you've got to live within that, that's a lot more. So, you know what I'm saying to you? So if you came here and you had a budget of 2,000 and you were living on 1,000, you'd think it's fantastic. If you came with a budget on 1,000 and you were spending 1,000, you'd probably be worried all the time because you're going to go over. Does that make sense? Jim Pendergrass paid 235 pesos for SML in Manila Hotel, 80 pesos in our village. 80 pesos from where? The Sari Sari or from, what's she doing? A woman in her underwear just went past. She does that on purpose. When I came home, she was fully dressed. She just put her underwear on and run in front of the camera. You know, in a minute, she just says it's not funny. I think it is. Sweetie, come on now. You're forgiven. Is that from a Sari Sari, Jim? Because that would be bloody expensive from a Sari Sari. If it's from a bar, that's more or less the same price it is here. Jack Star, well, I love a brew and a biscuit. They're one at Greg's. I used to love it. 3 years it's doubled. I'm not tight, but tell me if I'm paying double for a smaller biscuit. Yeah, no, yeah. It's yeah, things like that. It's yeah, I'm not going to go into it. Yeah, I know what you mean. Certain things, I'm like that. You know what I mean? If you go to a restaurant and it's like a certain price for a certain meal and you like the restaurant, you go there, you pay it, didn't you? But then when it's Christmas or it's Valentine's, something like that, and the price trebles and that, you think, what the fuck's going on here? What, you know what I mean? That kind of shit bothers me because you're getting the same meal, you know what I mean? Jim from the local bar. Well, that's not bad, Jim. That's not bad. That's Dumagetti prices. I'm sure. I mean, there's still the Kingswick. I've not been in a long time, but I still see on Facebook. They still got to do the happy hour, you know, between 2 and 3, 60 pesos. I think Sideways probably does. I don't go out in the afternoons, very rarely. I don't go out at the moment, full stop, to be honest with you. We are missing a few people, aren't we? No plastered finger. And our Vietnam friend is not here. There you go. How much are you paying for a beer in? Are you in where at the moment, Jack? Yeah, no Adam. Mind you, he's probably doing wonderful things in Da Nang. It was interesting. I don't know if you watched his video, Jack. I know you hadn't seen it before. I know Jim watched it. I'm not sure who else is online, but I was very surprised how much he. I wish he'd stop saying. Someone keeps sending me videos. I wish. I was amazed how Adam really loves the Philippines. Really does. It's like he loves the Philippines. He loves Vietnam. I think he has got a lot more positive view about the Philippines than I have, which was interesting talking to him because I like the Philippines because of my life here and obviously Ellen and my friends and all that kind of stuff. But I see a lot of negatives about the place. But Adam really he was so enthusiastic about the Philippines. We were talking off camera and I'm thinking, wow, I've not had that same vibe. I suppose it depends where you are, but then he hated Thailand. Well, didn't hate it, but Thailand wasn't for him. So I suppose we're each to our own. How many local bars do you have there, Jim? Kind of many, because I know you've got some nice hotels, isn't it, like 5-star hotels. 80 pesos for an expensive hotel would be high. 235 pesos for a San Miguel. I wouldn't drink it. Out of principle. I'd order, if they're those kind of prices, I would order something I couldn't get in Dumagetti. I'd just be so annoyed I'm paying 3 times the price for something I can get here for 90. I think I'd go on Guinness or Stella Artois or something, just because in my mind it's something I can't get in Dumagetti. Although you can get those, I mean, you can get them at Fiddle McGee's. I've got a couple of good videos coming up. I think they're going to be good videos. I've not done them yet. I'm going to film them in the next few days. A bit wary about doing them. 2 reasons. The videos I think are going to be good. Nobody likes. The videos I think are going to be awful. do a lot better than the videos I do like. Trouble is, they're two real stories, and they're quite sad stories, and they've happened quite recently. So I'm not going to mention any names and things, but I'm starting to wonder: should one do it? Is it too close? Even if I change the names or don't mention the names, I don't want to upset anyone. But I think they're almost proverbs in the sense that you could look at that story, digest it, and learn a lot, and realise just how dodgy it is over here. As I say, one of the people has lost their life, and one of them's quite close to losing his life. So you kind of think, but yeah, I think I'm going to do it. Give me your approval. Tell me I should do it, chaps, or tell me I shouldn't. But I'm not going to I just don't want to upset anyone, do you? You know what I mean? Because it's a bit close to home. But yeah, the whole point of this channel is to warn people about the potential pitfalls over here, and they are potential pitfalls. Jim Pendergrass, 2 big 5-star resorts and several smaller resorts. Yeah, but I'm saying it can't be 80 pesos in the 5-star resort, surely. Jack Star. So when your next injection's due, bloody hell, I mean, save the kitten, then get jabbed in hands 10 times. A pint about 7.80. It's like a sports bar, but old school weighted tables by Young Bunch. 7.80 is quite cheap, isn't it? I would have thought. What's that for? That's not for a premium lager, is it? I watch. There's a few channels I sometimes watch in London when I go out, and it's like 10, 13, 14 pounds a pint, which I find shocking. Next injection is on the 28th. Starting to think I probably didn't need. I certainly didn't need that hyper thing, the one they did in the fingers, and that was a bit off because I got my first scratches 3 days ago, 5 days before that had actually happened. And you're supposed to get that injection within 24 hours. We were upsold, but I was never really that worried. I was worried about Ellen because I feel very guilty if she got rabies over a kitten she didn't even want. But I got bitten by a dog about 4-5 years ago, and I had all the injections then. And someone said in the comments the other day, they sent the last video I did, they pasted up, copy and pasted the site, and they were saying, although they tell you it's only a few years, most people get like 20, 30 years of protection from their vaccinations, so I probably didn't need them. But anyway, I'm going to do the course. And then she said after that, you need a booster for life, booster. You don't need to ever have the full course again, just a booster every 10 years, you'll be fine. I think, is that right? She says, yeah. I says, you don't have to have all these again. She's like, yeah. I said, okay. But I had already had the injections, and I told you that before. So why did I need a booster? And she just went quiet. So there you go. Wanted to sell me the full course. Jackstar, get it done. Don't worry about them. Thank you, mate. I'm going to do that. Thank you, mate. That's what I needed. Mike Thompson, you should do the videos. Thank you, brother. I'm going to do them. One of them's quite a funny story, but it's not funny when you think about it, as I will say. The other one is just downright shocking, disgraceful. Can't believe that happened to the poor chap. But yeah, I'll do those. They will be my next 2 uploads. So the first one is funny as fuck. I was pissing myself in Sukior when I found out what happened. But it's one of those things, like a bit like, Only Fools and Horses. It's funny, but then it's sad. It's like a good story. You're laughing and laughing and laughing. But then afterwards you think, that's actually terrible that happened. Anyway, I won't give any more away. No spoilers, but I will get those done. Appreciate the pushing to doing that, chaps. Scott Gein, hey Simon from Scott, New Zealand. Scott, you never told us why you stopped. Welcome, mate. You never told us why you had stopped doing the arm wrestling. You just said you'd packed it in. Hey, Wendy Dosneris is here. Yes, please do the videos. I love a good scary story with lots of emotion. I will do it. I'm trying to think what your other handle is then. Less interested. Yeah, welcome back. Have you been lurking in the background? Because you've not commented for a long time. It's on time. It's about 150 for a small Pilsen here. But the nice thing is you can Guinness and all sorts here. Yeah, I imagine that must be nice. That's what surprised me. When we went to Vietnam, we picked a bad hotel on the way there. We had a right nightmare. I'm not going to relive that again. But we were so tired when we got there there was no point in going out, and we had a flight at like 6:30 in the morning, so we had to get to the airport for like 3 a.m. So, and by the time we got to the hotel, it was about 10 o'clock. But it is always nice to have a beer and to relax. So, what we decided to do was we would just go down, because there was some sari-saris around the corner. We just go get a couple of beers and have them in the hotel, because there was no bar in the hotel. And I was blown away, because the sari-sari there was cheaper than they are in Dumaguete. I think it was 120 pesos for a grande of Pilsen. I was expecting to be like, 50, 60, 70 pesos more. So yeah, I can imagine, like, you know what I mean? I thought everything in Manila would be more expensive, but clearly it's only the the restaurants and the bars and that. Or maybe I'm wrong, I say, but I was very surprised by that. It's on time. No, I'll do that. Hey, Ken, thank you very much, mate. You didn't need to do that. Thank you very much. That is very generous of you. Much appreciated. My shout, you bastard. Well, there's an Aussie way of putting it. How are you, Ken? It's been a while, mate. Aren't you supposed to be? You're supposed to be here now, aren't you? I was saying to Ellen the other day, I thought you were coming in December. You had to put everything on the back burner. Talking of which, Jack, when are you coming? But no, thanks for that, Ken. It's very generous of you, mate. Very kind of you, mate. I will have one. I will have a couple for you as soon as the cat lets me go out and socialise. Got getting, yeah, Simon, lost interest in arm wrestling, but might go back later in the year. Yeah, but why did you lose interest? Injuries, or just you were winning too easily, or found another interest? What are you doing for work now, Ken? Because the last time I saw you, you had gone into the fruit and veg marketing business. Or last time I spoke to you. I'm glad you said about doing the videos, chaps. I am going to do those. Because life is very cheap in the Philippines. I mean, that is the reality. Life is cheap here. And I'm not. I love the Philippines. You know what I mean? I just sometimes think it's a while since I've done a positive video about the Philippines, but I try and keep it honest. You know what I mean? And the longer you're here, the more you realise that life is cheap in terms of expats and in terms of Filipinos. It's people die and no one bats an eyelid, and a lot of people die unnecessarily. That's all I'll say. And no one seems to care. Which is why I'm going to do the two videos, because people need to think about that. I mean, if you want to come over here and you want to be like, laissez-faire, and when you got to go, you got to go. I respect that. That is very much the attitude I have. But if you want to live as long as you possibly can, and your life really matters to you, I mean, my life matters to me, but you know what I'm saying? I've always been like, que sera, sera, whatever will be. Nothing worse than fear and fear itself. But a few things have happened in the last month, and I thought, wow, that would not happen in most places in the world. Anyway, I'll save it for the videos. Driving a 4-prong forklift. That sounds more like you, Ken, mate. That sounds more like you. Loading trucks with empty plastic bins. Good man. I'm glad. I won't go into details because you had your legal. Anyway, we'll talk about that. Give me a call sometime, because I don't want to you might not want to talk about that on online. But glad things have worked out for you, mate. Very happy to hear that. Scott Green, $14 for tall glass of beer. What a rip-off. Downtown. I'm going to struggle it down at Kaikoura Town. Have I pronounced that right? So, if I'm correct, the New Zealand dollar is weaker than the Australian dollar, isn't it? Isn't that like, 3 to a pound or something like that? Oh, I got that wrong. I think it's 2 Aussie dollars to a pound. Yeah, it's hard to keep up. There's so many dollars. Jim Pendergast went to expat bar in Manila with a friend who lives in Manila. Happy hour, 90p pesos for 2 San Miguel lights. But that's impressive, mate. That's impressive. That's like breaking even, isn't it? I mean, because they're like 45 pesos in the supermarket. But I never buy beer. I never drink in the house. So that's why I stopped drinking a live stream. It's not a good route to go, I don't think. But I know what they cost. But Ken McCulloch, $59 an hour. That's good money, mate. That is good money. Well done, you. You were falling on your feet, as we would say in the UK. You probably say the same thing in Australia. It's on time. Jesus, Jim, tell me where. I'll be there. There was a place. I spoke about it on a video before. I don't really go there anymore. I cut down my drink. My mate might be watching, but I've got a good mate. Went to Vietnam together, and we got through a stage a few months ago when we were doing the quiz on a Thursday, and we were hitting this bar. It's a local Filipino bar called Funet afterwards, and we go there for a beer, a couple, and it was getting more and more and more and more and more. And we both realised, I think, at the same time that we were taking the piss out of it. I think we both decided to stop at the same time. So we avoided each other for a little while because we both thought we were leading each other astray. But now, anyway, cut long story short, when we used to go there, sound like Spandau Ballet now, don't I? It was 60 pesos for 2 San Miguel lights. And I don't know how they do that. I'd say to some of the owners, I'd say to you, and how can you do that? Because you can't do it, it's a loss. I thought the first few weeks we went there, it was always like that, but it's a special. They don't do it now, but they do ridiculously cheap drinks there. So it's like predominantly a Filipino restaurant, but they're open 24 hours and they've got a DJ in that at night. But yeah, I don't know how. I mean, 90 pesos, I can see how you would do that because I think, if it's 45 in a supermarket here, it's probably 38, 39 from the wholesaler. They're not making much. But 2 for 60 pesos, it's got to be a loss leader. Or some people have said it's probably going out of date or something. I don't know, but that was, wow, that was cheap. Jim Pendergrass, Union Jack Bar, Makati. They have a Union Jack Bar in Bangkok. Not in Bangkok, in Manila. Have you ever stayed at the Union Jack Club in London, Jack? Scott Geen, what's Vietnam like to visit? Mate, you got to go. You got to go. You got to try it for yourself. I liked it. I mean, I'm no expert on Vietnam. I've only been to Saigon, and we loved it. Da Nang will be our next visit. But horses for courses, mate. Some people love it, some people don't. I mean, I've got a few friends who I've spoken about since I came here, who've been to Vietnam before, and they did not like it at all. And they're telling me their woes, and thinking that's not my experience. So, horses for courses, mate, but I like it. I can't think there's anywhere else we'd go for our next holiday. Roscoe Brandt, the Union Jack, nice pub. Welcome on board, Roscoe Brandt. I think it's the first time you've commented, mate. Jack Star, I have, mate. Yeah, it was good. I never stayed there, mate. Never been there. But I know a lot of friends who used to go. They'd come down to visit us when I was based in London at Stanmore Park or whatever. They'd stay in the Union Jack Club. They'd left the Air Force, otherwise they'd have stayed in transit. And we went and met them. Soho. Used to go down Wardle Street. There's a couple of bars there, O-Bar, and that we used to go. And then we wandered down to Covent Garden. They were halcyon days. They were. But yeah, they swore by it, and I always thought that would be a place I would stay when I got out, but never actually stayed there. So I'm guessing, Roscoe Brandt, that you are from Manila, seeing as you knew what the place is. Hello from Salah. Now you phone me. I thought Salah was a living room. Ellen, where's Salah? Where's Salah? Yeah. Okay, he's never heard of it. And he's just retracted his message. Maybe it was a misspelling. That's mysterious. Well, anyway, welcome, Roscoe Brandt. Oh, hello from Salem, Massachusetts, USA. Well, there you go. You said Salah. I thought that is a living room, isn't it, in the Philippines? Now I'll tell you an interesting story. Well, here's a question for you, because Salem is where the witch trials were. Yes, I know you can't answer. My parents are sheep farmers, and they have a little sheep farm, and their village is called Salem, and it is the same spelling. It is just outside Clandilo. And I have wandered from the moment they moved there. I mean, they've been about 15 years now. I'm assuming that the Salem in Massachusetts, that the people moved from Wales, from Salem to there. I've never researched it. I've never looked into it. but you know, like New Hampshire, they came from Hampshire, etc. But I've often wondered, did the pilgrims from Welsh Salem go over and found Salem in Massachusetts? I like to think they did. Whether they took the witches with them or not, I do not know. But yeah, Salem, there you go. Interesting place. I do like the Crucible. That is a good play, which is obviously set in Salem. You all know that. Roscoe Brandt, more snow overnight. Oh, it's winter time there, isn't it? Yeah. It's God, I can't remember what snow felt like. I watch a lot of American news and things. You see the snow in the background. I think I've decided I might go back next Christmas. I'm gonna have to go back to the UK at some stage because my passport runs out in 27, and I've got a few things I've been putting off. So I was saying to Ellen, the last 2 Christmases we've gone away. We went to Cebu the year before. We went to Vietnam. She hasn't had a Christmas with her family. So I'm thinking, like, you know, this year you spend it with your family. I'll go back, see my family, get things sorted out. And it seems like a good idea. Then you start thinking about the snow and the cold and all the rest of it. You think, oh, I'm not so sure about that. You know what I mean? Roscoe Brandt, known as Witch City, Halloween is a big party. You know, I know about Salem. It's famous, mate. It's famous. So I just wonder if there's a connection between the 2 Salems. It's on time. Did they drown any sheep as witches over there, Simon? Probably. I mean, I hung a few monkeys in Sunderland, so maybe they drowned a few witches. Who knows, mate? Who knows? Very good. Mike Thompson, it's the same with Plymouth in England and Plymouth in the USA. Yeah, I think it is with most of them, mate. I think it is. That's what I'm saying to you. I would not at all be surprised if that's where Salem, because I know I've never really looked into it, but I know of Salem, Massachusetts, and I know of Salem, Llandilo, or Carmarthenshire is the county. I've never heard of another Salem. And mind you, they say it's Salem over there. I don't know. We say it's, the Welsh call it Salem. I know they call it Salem over there. Or I think they call it Salem over there. Frankly Brian, hello mate, welcome on board. Hi Simon, has sheep farming kept your folks healthy and active? Yes, it has kept them healthy and active. Well, it's kept my old man healthy. He looks after the sheep, she looks after the goats, and never really the twain shall meet. They got their own separate little bits. So he is a shepherd or a sheep farmer. She does a lot of knitting and weaving, and she's in all these thingy clubs and that, but she's a vegetarian, not a vegan. So she like makes cheeses and that out of milks and things. She does amazing things with goat's milks. But yeah, mate, yeah, it's incredible. I don't know why they want to do it. I've got no idea. It was a small holding. They retired and decided they wanted to do that. You know, they get up at like 5:30 in the morning to milk the goats and sometimes milk the sheep, because you can't milk sheep the whole year round. You know, depends. Sheep depends on the thing, and they, like, you know, they're asleep by 8 o'clock in the evening. I mean, they're literally on the go all day long, and you sit there and you think, why? This is not retirement. I remember it made me laugh once when I was in Thailand. I said to my girlfriend at the time, she was asking about the time difference when I was going to phone my mother, and I said, well, she'll be up now, she'll be milking the goats. And she said, I did not know they had goats. I didn't realise your parents were poor people. Trying to explain to her it's different in the UK, because everyone where they live, they're all like worked in the city, they're lawyers, barristers or whatever. They've all retired and bought small holdings and little farms and that, because they want to live the I can't think what the term is now. Can't think of the term, but they want to live the peasant lifestyle. You know what I mean? It's like, because they spent their whole lives in London, they want to live like, yeah, peasants really. Yeah, when all the people I knew in Thailand, you know, had goats and all that kind of crap, that's the last thing they wanted to do. They'd rather be relaxing and you know, doing nothing and watching Thai soap operas. But there you go, it's a strange old world. A bit like France as well, though. I used to have a summer house in Emiet in France, and I nearly bought a couple of places there. Wonderful place just outside Bergerac. You'd go there and the house prices were so cheap, because no one there, all the people in the village, they wanted to go and live in little apartments in the cities. The last thing they wanted to do is live in these old, like, you know, country houses with like land and all the rest of it. So nearly everyone around there were all English. You know, completely opposite way of looking at things. We want to go out. A lot of people want to go over there and live in the country and live off the land. The French don't want to do that. They just want to get to the cities and live in these horrible maisonettes and things. Very strange. Roscoe Brand could be settled by English Puritans. Well, there you go. English Puritans, Welsh Puritans. No, there you go. Jack Star. So I see a few other Phil's channels. Not going to name them, but one is pure drinking the magic juice. Phil is the best place in the world. No scams and riding unicorns. What the fuck? Yeah, mate. If he's like that, that is. Name them, mate. Name them. I'll watch them. I'll do a review. But yeah, no, it's extraordinary. It's extraordinary how you know, some, I don't know, how disingenuous some people are or how delusional they are. I think it's probably a bit of both. I think it's attribution theory. Some people don't want to question themselves and they want to convince themselves they're right. Some people are just scam artists. I don't know. The Philippines has got a hell of a lot going for it. It really has. It is a wonderful place. But equally, it's got a hell of a lot of problems. And if people can't see that, then I don't know what to say to you. You know what I mean? Wendy, hobby farm. Yeah, hobby farm. Yeah, hobby farm. Small holding, we call it. Yeah. It's never made it. He loses money every year. And it's getting smaller now. I mean, they have run it down because they're getting old. I mean, he's 75, she's 71. So I think they stopped breeding. I mean, they won't. I mean, all the animals have got names and things. You know, it's not like a real farm. But they've not bred the goats for a couple of years now, and they still keep milking, which I find very strange. And if you long as you milk them, the milk will keep going. But they're running it down gradually because it will get too much for eventually. And the last thing they want to do is get too sick and then have to sell the animals off the slaughter and all that. So each year it gets smaller and smaller. Frankie Bryan, so would you say that your parents are more hardworking than you? Jesus Christ, yeah, and always have been. I often find it hard, to be honest with you, when I do go back to think we're related. Maybe we're not, because I have no idea how I have turned out so lazy. You know, it's my old dear, bless her. She had cancer a few years ago. Thankfully, she beat it, and I went back and I helped them look after the farm for a while because they had some other people. I wanted to see her anyway, but they took on some workers and had to help them. They got a few people that work with them as well, you know, just people in the village who do like, you know, farmhand stuff and that. And I went back and I felt good about doing it. And the goats are nice, you know. I wasn't doing much. I was doing a few hours a day, like, you know, cleaning out the goats and feeding them and all that kind of shit. But every day I'm questioning, why the hell would you do this? I mean, why would you because it is constant work. But they love it. I mean, she would come out every day and she wanted to do something. I'd say, no, sit down. You can't. You've got to rest yourself. You've got your stitches and that. I don't know. Different worlds, mate. Different worlds. Mike Thompson, The Good Life. Yeah, yeah. A lot bigger scale, but yeah, The Good Life. Yeah, same kind of thing, mate. Yeah, and they all are. They've got a local pub, a place called Cumdi, and it's everything there is cooperative. So it's a cooperative bar, a pub. It's a cooperative post office. You know, everyone volunteers and it's great. You go down there on a Saturday and a Sunday. They have like chefs, but they're not really chefs. People take it in turns to cook there. So you hire the kitchen for the weekend and it's fantastic. You know, you'll get some like people from different countries cooking and that. It's wonderful. But you sit there and it's like, you know, no one's from Wales. They're all London accents. They're all quite posh. You know, you sit there thinking, is this Wales? And there's a couple of guys who are farmers, Welsh farmers, only a few there. You buy the hay and that from and the straw. And first time I went down there, I went down to pick some up on the tractor. And I got talking to the guy and he said, you realise we're like bill farmers, me and him. And I'm like, what do you mean bill farmers? Like, we farm to pay the bills. He said, no one else is. They're all like, it's all like hobbies for them. I said, no, mate, it's mind blowing. But there you go. Jack Star. The other one, long distance relationship, moved in the compound, didn't work. He moved out, got his own place. Then all of a sudden she's pregnant. Do guys lose their mental capacity when they hit the fills? Mate, they do that. I think they do it anywhere in Asia, mate. They do it anywhere in Asia. It is mind blowing. Some of the, and it's a mate, when you watch some of the video and you get talking to people, these are people who have been quite successful in life a lot of the time. They're clearly not stupid. I mean, because you do get some vulnerable adults over here who you'll meet, and it's quite clear they've been vulnerable their whole lives. And they come unstuck, a lot of them, unless they've got people, you know, putting their arm around them and saying, don't do this, don't do that. But some people, they just seem to come over here and it is insanity. Some of the things they do, because it's like they say, common sense is not very common. I find it extraordinary, mate. But mate, I'm not seeing it as much here as I did in Thailand. My God, that is a land of madness, as you will well know. Scott Gein, what's goat milk? I've gone past that. What's goat milk like? Well, I tell you what, I've got goat's milk in the fridge at the moment. That's what I'm feeding the little kitten on. It's nice. I love goat's cheese, but yeah, I've got goat milk at the moment. Thankfully, there's a guy up in the mountains. He does goat's milk, fresh from the goats, because I can't give the kitten normal milk, because I think 95% of cats are lactose intolerant. So you need to give them like the cat replacement powder or the goat's milk. But I had her on the goat's milk for the first few days. I won't bang on about the cat too long, and she was fine. Then the vet told me, no, get her on this. She won't get the horn, she won't get that. And I spoke to my mother about it, and she said, like, goat's milk will give them anything they need. And he said, no, put them on the powder and that. She had diarrhea for like a week and a half because of the powder. And he said she had to go and have virus tests and all this. And I said, well, look, I'm just going to put her back on the goat milk for 3 days and see what happens. Back on the goat's milk, she's fine. Loving it. It's got the colostrum and all the rest of it in there. You know what I mean? It's you can raise nearly any animal on goat's milk if it's a mammal. Franklin Lee Bryan, yeah, rural properties in France have been a bargain for years. It's strange, isn't it? It is strange. I don't know why the French have got against rural life. Because my God, Emiette was fantastic. Really nice places, picturesque little town or village. You go into the market, a couple of really nice bars, nice cobbled area, 3 or 4 fantastic restaurants. You'd have the market twice a week where you could go and get fresh goat's cheese. And it was just fabulous. It was like heaven. And it's south enough for it to be really sunny in the summer. I loved it there. Thought about moving there before I went to Vegas, but didn't. But it was dying a death. I mean, the villagers would tell you I've always liked French. French are my favourite Europeans. I love Paris. It's my favourite city. But I know there's a lot of animosity. Some people think the English don't like the French and vice versa. But if you speak the language, you make an effort. They love you. But they would say to you get talking to people in that village, they thought the British were great because we had literally saved the village, in a sense that all the young people had gone because there was no work, and it was only the fact that a load of British people had moved in that kept the bars and the restaurants and that going. And they're like, no one wants to live here, so thank God you've come. And you're thinking, why the hell does no one live here? It's fantastic. Very strange. Don't worry, man. Salem, Oregon, the state capital. Is Oregon and Massachusetts? Is Oregon Massachusetts? I'm getting very confused now. So there's 2 Salems. Jack Star, to me, the leading people to false hopes. Say it as it is, the good, the bad, and you can make your own mind up. Yeah. I tell you, mate, you're right. You're 100% right. But the trouble is, as I say to you, I don't know how much of it is delusional and how much of it is just being snide and trying to sell people a lie. Because some people, it's a bit like, and I used to give the analogy, you go out some days in the UK, or when I live in the UK, and it can be pouring with rain, and you can think, my God, I hate this weather, blah, blah, blah. Another day you can go out, the rain can be falling on, and you can think, fucking, isn't it fantastic to be alive, if you're in a really good mood. So some of these people, I don't know, maybe they're just intoxicated with the place. Maybe they really do think it is as fantastic as they think it is. I find it hard to believe. But as I've said before, I've lived in Asia a long time now. So, I'm comparing it with Thailand and Vietnam. And that maybe if it was the first Asian country I'd been to, and I'd been desperately unhappy where I was living before, you might think it's fantastic. You might think everything is wonderful. But if you still think that after a couple of years, you're a fool. That's the reality, because there are issues here, as there are issues of anyone. But you do definitely, mate, they do lead people. A lot of people come unstuck. There was a guy, I'm not going to mention his name now. Well, I will. It's Silent Bill. He might come in here once. And he had a real thing about Mark Thornton on his channel. There was a load of people who always used to be very critical of him. And then one day he explained why. And he said, look, because the reason he didn't like Mark, and I like Mark, I make no bones about it, was because he knew of a couple of Americans who had come over here because they'd seen Mark's channel. And they thought everything was wonderful. And they had ended up with no one, broke, and ended up terribly because they thought they'd get a girlfriend and they didn't because they'd watched the channel and that had bring their spur to come here and they felt that he was spreading false lies. I'm not criticising his channel. I'm just saying, you know, there are consequences to that. I understand now why he had such a disdain for you know, for that channel because yeah, I saw things differently when I understood that. Plus the thing that even all glad the kitten is thriving. She is thriving, mate. She is thriving. Jackstar, that's why we all like the cut of your jib, sir, as you tell it how it is, and we all appreciate it. So keep it up, Mugger. Oh, you're talking to me? Thank you, mate. I'll start blushing now. I get carried away reading the things. Yeah, I try to, mate. But equally, as like I said to you, is I appreciate you saying that. But there are sometimes when I get a bit down. You know what I mean? It's like the old rain analogy I just told you. So sometimes I think, am I actually being honest, or am I having a down on the place? Maybe I'm being too negative because I might feel the way I'm saying it now, but will I feel the same way in a month? You know what I mean? Because there are, you know what I'm saying to you? So it's like, you know, you try and strike the balance. I am very wary of the fact that I haven't done a video saying how fantastic the Philippines is for quite a while now. And you're thinking, well, you should do one saying how great it is because you must still like it because why would you be here? And there's an element of that. But I think, well, if I'm just saying things because I feel it's a while since I've done a good one, then that's being disingenuous. You know what I mean? I think you've got to feel it. You've got to feel it to say it. You know what I mean? But I appreciate that, Jack. Jim agreed, Jack. Oh, thank you, Jim. That's very kind of you, mate. Roscoe Brandt. Most every state in the US has a Salem. Salem, Massachusetts is where the witch trials were. Well, there you go. It is what it is. There you go. You've explained it now. Wendy, can you see the kitten? Well, it is her feeding time. You can do. I don't know. Can people spare me for 30 seconds? I'm desperate to go to the pee. I can go and have a pee and I can bring the kitten out because it's her feeding time. But if everyone wants me to finish now, I can finish now. Someone give me a clue. What shall we do? The first person who says, if they say, get the kitten, I will get the kitten. If they say, don't get the kitten, I won't get the kitten. Sun Chaser said, yo, that's not really an answer. Yo, Sun Chaser, how are you, mate? It's on time, P. When do you saw his kitten? All right, give me 2 seconds. I will return in just 2 seconds. Ellen, can you help me, please? I'm going to need you to read the questions while I'm feeding the kitten. It's 8 o'clock and I've got to feed the kitten. So I just need you to read the question, what people are saying, so I can reply while I'm doing it. Because I can't read and feed at the same time. What? I don't know, over there, charging. Right, have we still got any viewers? Oh, we have. Well, here she is. This is her, bless her. And she's very excitable. And this is her milk. Yeah, you've got to read to me while I'm...
Hold on.
You have to keep her hands down because she gets very, she scratches her eyes. In fact, I might have to wrap her. I'm just going to have to tackle her up, fellas, because I can't do both at the same time. Will you stop, you crazy psychopath? If I wrap her up, she can't, this is the way we have to do it sometimes.
What's the last message you
Anyway.
read?
Oi, there we go. Right, sweetie.
Hello.
Oh, she's got a clue out again. Will you stop doing that? This is not really good viewing for a live stream, is it? Will you stop? I'm not hungry. So read something to me.
You.
Oh, I can read them here. Have a bathroom break. Come back, Jack has said. Sun Chaser only just got in here. Plaster Finger said, get the kitten. I've got the kitten. Evening, Sun Chaser. Just logged in too. Sun Chaser, you need kitten mittens. I do need kitten mittens, mate. I do. She, I mean, bless her. She's not really drawn blood yet. But she's going to get to that stage soon. But she doesn't mean anything by it, bless her. But it's funny because the last 3 days, she's got playful. She was too young before. She didn't like, because the vet, the first time I said I was going to bring her in, said, does she play and is she like got energy and that? I said, we don't play because he said, well, she's so sick. If she's not playing, she must be sick. And I'm like, well, she's only 2 weeks old. They don't play to a certain age, do they? But about 3 days ago, she started chasing things and like she likes laces and things now. So I'm gonna have to get her a load of toys. But yeah, you're gorgeous, aren't you, sweetie? There we are. It's on time. She's she's cute, isn't she? She's a cute little cat.
Okay.
I can actually read them now. I thought I'd be too worried about her choking. But got to try and wean her this week. I'm going to start, but I've got no idea. I'll have to watch a few YouTube videos. I think you've got to get some cat food and you've got to mix it with the milk and put it on your finger anyway. I'm amazed she's ready to go because I've had a lot of cats in my life, but I've never raised one. I've always had but I've just had a lot of pet cats. And the mother has always raised them. But I had no idea you could wean them so quickly. The vet said like 4 weeks. You start them on the food, and in 18 weeks, they're off the milk completely, which I find quite surprising, really, because I wouldn't have thought she, at this size, was ready for meat yet, but seems to be. There we go. That cute little face.
Can't you out her in the stop?
Can't I what?
For scratching.
The scratches a bit. She's usually right. It's because I was trying to do 2 things at once, Jack. I could just hold her arms like if she's fine, but it's just yes. That's why I got infected. She gets excited when the milk bottle comes along, and she caught a nail in her eye. She gets quite hysterical. But once she's got the bowl, she's all right. Yeah, she's good as gold. It's just she still gets a little bit greedy at times. But yeah, could put in a little sock or something. But she's not drawn blood or anything yet. Sun Chaser, I had a cat. It lasted 3 weeks. It did my head in when I used to use its litter tray, then walk her all over the kitchen table, etc., leaving grey little paw prints everywhere, kitty piss prints. Well, there you go. Ellen's disgusted now. Well, maybe cats are not for you, mate. I think cats are probably not for a lot of people because I had 20 views when I started feeding the kitten, and now we're down to 13. But there we go. It is what it is. But I had to feed her now anyway because it's 8 o'clock, and 8 o'clock after that it is cat playing time, isn't it? We have an hour of Pansit time. Any more comments? See, everyone is there. The people of Remain, they're just thinking, "Oh, isn't that lovely?" That's why they can't comment. They're so blown away by what a cute little thing she is. It's amazing how strong she is now, how big she's got in such a short space of time. It's only when you look at videos from like the other week you realise how small she was. Franklin B, do your dogs take an interest in the kitten? We only have one dog now. Unfortunately, one of our dogs passed away a couple of weeks ago, which is very sad. I have no idea. We tried to get a vet out. He came back one day and he was acting very strangely, and I could tell there was something wrong. So this was like at night, and he was twisting his head. Neighbour thinks he may have had, was it called Parlo, a disease called Parlo or something? But I thought next day, right, we'll get the vet out. Dog disappeared that night, never seen it since. I think sadly when the dogs get sick over here, they tend to go off and die somewhere. And not been back for about 3 weeks now, so we know he's gone, which is heartbreaking. So we just got Fred now. Fred's not met her yet, mate. So they don't. When we moved in the house, the dogs came with the house. They sleep outside. They got the beds outside, but they've never been in the house. They're not house dogs. They're not street dogs, so they live outside the house, don't they? But yeah, so the two have never met. But she's going to be a problem when she gets to go out because there are quite a few cats in the neighbourhood, and she's quite small, and I don't want her beaten up. So I'm going to have to either talk Fred into protecting her and explain how he has to look after her, or we're going to have to get a lead for her, and I'll take her for walks because she's too small to take on these local alley cats. Wendy, oh, cats, dogs, goats, etc. I like Sming the cat. What's that mean? I don't know what Shring the cat. I don't know what Shring the cat is. I don't know what Shring the cat is. You'll have to expand on that, Wendy. Sunset Chaser, pets are like permanent children, needs constant looking after for 14 plus years. Yes, a bit like Ellen. But there you go. Anyway. Wendy the Sewer, it's hard to travel with pets, especially cats. Yeah, that is a problem, Wendy. I mean, as I say, I really, really, really did not want any pets. Much as I love them, they are a bind and a responsibility that I never really wanted since I came to the Philippines. But what do you do? I mean, you know, the dogs were here. You couldn't let them starve. I mean, the kitten would have ended up being no more had I not taken it home. So you kind of like you end up, and it is what it is. Just got to tilt the last bit of milk out.
Sunset Chaser, I think
Oh, stroking the cat, yeah. She's nearly done, chaps. She's nearly done. Well done, sweetie. There we go. Right. So who have we got now? Jack Star. Yeah, I'm allergic to cats. Big dog lover mind. Oh, I've woken up with a few dogs as well. But you've eaten a few dogs as well, mate. Oh, Ellen gave me a disgusting look then. I'll pan the camera down so you can see this little lady. Yes, sweetie. Who else have we got? Frankly, could she just be a house cat? Plenty of them here in Hong Kong. They never leave the owner's flat. I don't think so, mate. I think that personally, I think that's a bit cruel for a cat. For you know, I think cats like to be outside, don't they? I mean, they like to do outside things. It might end up that way. I don't know. I mean, trouble is, we live in a glass house. It's called the glass house, and it is literally all glass. So I've got no idea how I could put a cat litter up. Not a cat litter, sorry, a cat flap. I think it would be impossible. So yeah, I don't know, mate. I don't know. Where there is a will, there is a way. Blasted Finger has done a load of sunglasses. I'm not sure what that means. Sunset Chaser, all the dogs in the Philippines seem to have cow udders. Yeah, they do. They do. Yeah, it's they really do. They really do. Hello, Button. I'll ask you now, though. Have you ever seen such a cute little thing as this? Have you ever seen such a cute little thing? He means that all the female cows over here, dogs, they've had like too many kids in that, and it just sags down like, you know, like cows udders, big nipples, big teats. No. You don't get dogs like that in Western countries, so they don't look that way. It's on time. That kitten will be super affectionate to you as she grows up. She'll be like your shadow after you hand reared her. I'd like to think so, to be honest with you. I know it's a responsibility, but I'm starting to think that I'm going to be very disappointed if she gets to a certain age and things like sod him and just does her own things. As I say, I've had a lot of cats in my time, and some of them have been very, very, very affectionate, and some aren't. You know, it's like, you know, you never can tell. They're a bit like people, aren't they? But I'd like to think so. We have grown incredibly close over our short time together. Yeah. Blasted Finger. Oh, and about the cage. Try lining it with chicken wire if she can't get food out. Yeah, I'm not worried about that now, mate. To be honest with you, Billy, because we've got like one of those big containers we keep her in between feeds when we're not playing with her. But in a couple of weeks, she can wander around the house. Just a bit small now, so I mean that cage was just to give her a little bit of an area in the early days. But we'll let her move around now. I mean she can have the run of the house. She can have the run of the house. Wendy, you may fall in love with that cute kitty. I already have, Wendy. I already have. She's my baby. She's my baby. We have spent many hours. I've talked more to her over the last 3 weeks than I have to Ellen in probably in the last 2 years. She shouted at me today. She's in the bedroom like, stop talking to her. Stop talking to her. We discuss all sorts of things. Strange. Me and this kitten, we have the same politics. We have the same view on everything. Plaster finger. I once hand-reared a fox cub. I had to chew and feed him from my mouth. Really? Wow. I hope I'm not gonna have to do that with you, sweetie. Am I not gonna have to do that with you? Am I hand-read you like the thing? Surely not. Sun Chaser. Not sure what your house is like, but you could build a cat run outside. I don't know. I think she'll probably be like some of the other cats over here, in the sense that we'll have a cat litter probably in the back where the jacuzzi is, and I'm going to put you on the floor now. You can play on the floor. You can play on the floor. Sure. She'll be all right on the floor for a little while. Will you really look after her? There you go. That'd be a first. And it would be.
I'm just gonna see what gonna...
But yeah, I think it'll be one of those things. We've got the cat litter for when she's in the house, and if she wants to go out, we'll let her out for a few hours, and when she wants to come back in, she'll just have to meow at the door or something. You know what I mean? I say I've always had cat flats before, but I don't know how one's going to put a cat flap in here. But our landlord's back next month. I mean, if I can think of a way, I will run it by him. But I don't know how one would do it. But there you go. Art Park Garden. Blimey, look who's doing a live. I think I'm about to say what the cat's dragged in. I've got cats in my mind at the moment. How are you, mate? Welcome on board. Scott Keane. Good night, Simon. Take care from Scott, New Zealand. Hey, Scott. Thanks for joining, mate. Always appreciated. Remember what I said to you. Get yourself over to Vietnam. Find out for yourself. Do some travelling, Scott. Now you've got more time on your hands because you're not arm wrestling. You'll be able to travel all the time, mate. Sunset Chaser. What's the weather like there? It's pissed it down every single day since 1st of January in England. It's bloody miserable. It's been very wet the last couple of days. There's been a typhoon since Sunday? But it was fine today. Scott Gein, women get jealous, haha. Yeah, she gets jealous of the kitten. Yeah, she's saying, what? Stop talking to her, stop talking to her. If I talk to Ellen, she's going to get angry now. So she'll say to me, stop talking to me, I have a headache, I'm busy, I'm using my phone, I'm concentrating. Pansit never says that to me. She never says anything to me. Scott Parkgard, Art Parkgard, you have a kitty. Yes, we do have a kitten. Scott Gein, the cat will bring snake inside house. Aha.
Oh, no.
Well, no, she won't. Don't. He's winding you up. Tell you what she will do, though. I did a video a while back. We had a problem with rats. We had a rat and it disappeared. I put poison down. But the other day I was out the back and I saw this big rat. And it was a big bastard. And I'm thinking, oh, God, that gets in the house. Because it'd run. We got utility room and it was in the utility room and it had gone out. And I thought that really worried me because I'm thinking, because I keep her in a box in the living room, what if the rat gets in and kills the kitten? So I thought this cannot be. So I put some poison down and a couple of traps. Then I start worrying, what if the kitten gets out there and she eats the poison or gets caught in one of the traps? But a day nothing happened. Then I thought about it. I've got to take them away. But that night we caught the rat. Trap closed. And that was it. The rat was gone. I felt quite bad about that. I thought that rat has probably got a family, but it was big, wasn't it, Ellen? It was about that size. I knew she'd say I was exaggerating. I wasn't. I should have taken a video of it. Wow, she guzzled that. Are you going to wind her? No, but I might have to help her poop in a minute because she hasn't pooped for 2 days. And I know how to do that now. It's amazing the things I've learned the last few weeks. Yeah, the cat will leave you little offerings on your back porch every morning. She's the best pet controller. Well, that's what I'm saying about the rat. As I said to Ellen, because Ellen wasn't too keen on having the cat. I said, well, at least now in a few weeks' time, we should never have another rat problem because this little madam will take care of those when it's opening. Do you know why they drop those little things outside? Why cats catch stuff and bring it back to the house? I will let you ponder it for a second, then I will tell you. Well, it's what I've read anyway. I don't know, but I've read it somewhere and I thought it was fascinating. When you've got cats, they catch things and they bring them back into the house. I've had that a million times with the cats I've had in the past. Do you know why they do that, sweetie? They do that, apparently, according to this book I was reading, to teach you how to hunt, because they think you're useless. They can't understand why you can't catch anything. So they're basically, in the cat's mind, they're bringing back and they're dropping this little mouse on the thing to say, look what I've done. Come with me and I'll teach you how to do it. That's what the book reckoned anyway. Because I always thought like they think you're the boss and they're bringing it back to give you a gift, but apparently not. According to this article I was reading, they think you're useless and can't catch anything. So they're trying to show you how it is and say, look, come and catch something. This is what you do. I like to think that's true. Where's Ken gone? Ken popped in, was incredibly generous and just disappeared. Are you still there, Ken? Anyway, I'm going to be disgusting now.
Why?
So what?
Why?
Well, because I'm running out of things to talk about. So I don't want to offend anyone, but in case you are interested, she was constipated for a couple of days when she was on the goat's milk before we moved to the other milk. And I said to the vet, is this a problem? And he said, it will be a problem after 72 hours. See, I'm losing people already. So he sent me a video on YouTube, how to basically get your kitten to pee or poo. And what the, don't worry, I didn't lick anything. But according to the video, a mother cat will lick the cat's private parts, and that stimulates them to go to the toilet. He said, but you can just do it with a warm cotton bud or whatever. So you just wet like a piece of tissue and you just rub down there. And my God, as soon as I started rubbing, a fountain of pee came out like a little baby. And the next thing, so that's how you do it. But yeah, so I'm going to do that afterwards. I'm gonna rub her genitals in a certain way, and hopefully she'll have a poo.
Live.
No, not on the video. Ellen's looking at me going, live? And of course I'm not going to do it live. Anyway, we are losing people now. As soon as I said that, it's gone 16, 17, 15. I don't blame you, people. I don't blame you. You didn't need to know that. I tell you what, we're going to log off now because I finished my coffee and we're running into pants. It's playtime now and people have stopped talking. Or has mine frozen? Have I had any comments since It's On Time said about the pet catchers, about the pest controller? I've not missed anyone, have I? Anyway. So we're going to knock it on the head. Pancit will say goodbye. Say goodbye, Pancit. Say goodbye. Say goodbye. Say goodbye.
Oh God.
What?
You have the sunset chaser comments there.
Why? What are you talking about?
What was the last one?
The last one I've got is from It's On Time. She's the best pest controller. Well, I can't read them. My glasses are too
Of
small.
course you can.
Um,
Stop for you.
I can't see Ellen. I've got too small.
Okay, I'll read it. He says, I don't know. Of course, Ellen is wrong.
Oh yeah. A few people have said that. Of course, Ellen's. Yeah. Okay. She just got very red when she read that out. Say it again. Say it a bit louder. Of course, Ellen's jealous because of what?
Shut up.
Shut up, she says. That's gone for moderation. But I go, yeah, no, you're right. Yeah, she's bound to be jealous for that reason. Yeah, without a doubt. She certainly thinks, but I find it hard to believe, but I've got more in common with this 4-week-old kitten sometimes than I do have with this 29-year-old Filipino. My God, the look she's giving me now, she's giving me daggers. But anyway, whoever's there, people have stopped talking, so I'm going to, oh, here we go. How many lives a month are you doing in our park garden? Well, mate, I've been out the loop because this little girl has been so demanding with her feeds and things. I've had to stop doing them. But back on track now, mate. I'm going to aim to do one. I'm going to aim to do one once a week. I think Wednesday nights is going to be the way forwards. But yeah, I'm going to have to go now, chaps, because, but yeah, in answer to your question, I'm going to try and take the channel a bit more seriously next few weeks because I've not been able to. So, and I've got a couple of videos lined up in my mind, which people on the channel have been kind enough to support me in saying, yeah, do it, because I was wasn't sure whether to do it or not. But yeah, once a week, mate. I think Wednesday nights, 7 o'clock is going to be the regular. But I'm going to bail out now, chaps. Really appreciate those who took the time to join us tonight. Jack Star, you are a legend. Thank you so much. In fact, Jack, if you're still there, I'm going to hold on for a couple of minutes. When are you coming, mate? I know you've got problems with the thing, but you keep pushing back the dates. Please tell me you're coming in February or March, or I'm sure it was going to be September, then it was January, then it was like, I know you're a busy man. I know you've got like, a million places to be. You're in Dublin, you're in Scotland, you're here, you're there, but we want to see you, mate. Pansy wants to meet our Uncle Jack, but he might. I say I'm going to hold on till he replies. He might not be here. Anyway, Jack, let us know on the next one. Thanks, everybody. I'm a bit subdued now. I've got her playing around with my feet. Hard to concentrate. Thank you so much for joining us on the live stream. Jet, thank you so much for the very generous super chat. Thank you again, Ken, for the ever so generous super chat. I hope all is well with people. She's mumbling in the background. I don't know what she's talking about.
Trying to jump on your feet.
Oh, I know that. But yeah, thank you, fellas and ladies. Thank you, Wendy. I'm going to end it now. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, smash the like button. If you haven't subscribed, it will be fantastic if you did. The chat has dried up. I don't know what to say, so I'm going to say goodbye. Stay safe and be lucky.